Hi, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media, and today's video is a subject that is fairly near and dear to my heart because I've been involved with it for so long. We're talking about the International Defensive Pistol Association. So I've been shooting IDPA longer than I've shot any other shooting sport. As a matter of fact, the first major shooting event that I participated in that wasn't a traditional NRA bullseye match was an IDPA state championship back in 2008. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I got to the point where I was competing at a very high level in the revolver division. I finished second at nationals like 3 times. I got very frustrated with that. That's a different story. But I even worked for IDPA. I managed their social media for a while, and I would like to think I did a pretty good job. Anyway, the reason that I'm making this video is IDPA has reached a point right now where it is probably the best version of itself that it's ever been. They've done some rule changes, they've added some new divisions, and in my opinion, this is the best version of IDPA we've ever had, all right? Some of the changes that they've made recently, they changed the point structure so that you get 1 second of penalty times for every point down. I think that's good for a sport that is trying to reinforce the idea of being defensive oriented, because it goes to this whole concept of how in a real defensive shooting, you're not going to shoot so fast that you outrun your headlights. And that's a completely different video that we can get into later, but it's something that I've discussed on other channels. So I like that. I like that they've done away with the imaginary cover calls where if your foot was this far over based on the interpretation of the safety officer, you got a 3-second penalty. They use fault lines now, and that's better. Fault lines are better. Period, full stop, fault lines are better. I like that they've added 2 new divisions. I like that they've added carry optics so that people who put dots on their guns can compete with their carry gun in IDPA. And I even like that they've added PCC, even though I think PCC is a weird division, but I like that they added it because people like to shoot it. But I don't think it's perfect. I think that there are 3 small improvements IDPA could make where they could become really the shooting sport of choice for Gun Culture 2.0. Because when you look at Gun Culture 2.0, their reason for carrying guns is defensive shooting. Gun Culture 2.0 is where you get your Instagram instructors and most of your gun bunnies, and the people that are attracted to that sort of shooting sport don't necessarily have a place to go, but IDPA could be that place. And I think it would be good for the sport, because if there's one thing that you do see at IDPA matches, it's that the crowd there is a little bit older. When I go to a major IDPA match, I'm frequently one of the younger shooters there, and I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. So let's talk though. What can IDPA do? What are these 3 changes, 3 ways to improve IDPA? Number 3, make the stages slightly longer. Right now, IDPA has an 18-round limit on stages. So no stage can be longer than 18 shots fired, required to be fired, I should say, because you can usually shoot a lot more than that if there's steel or if you're dumping rounds or things like that. But anyway, the idea behind that was it was an arbitrary limit set up to make the sport not turn into the sort of run and gun hose fest that you sometimes do see in USPSA matches. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, we've all been to a USPSA match that was all 32 round open field courses, and it's not fun, but that's not the point. The point is that I think IDPA could do with slightly longer stages. Just give me 6 more rounds. Take the stage to 24 rounds. Give me that max round count of 24 rounds, and it makes things more interesting because in the higher capacity divisions like SSP and ESP, it does actually affect the strategy. So it would make the sport more challenging across the board and also give stage designers more opportunity to do creative things. Now, I know what you're going to say. You might be saying, but Caleb, 24 rounds isn't realistic for a defensive shooting situation. Listen, Neither is 18 rounds, all right? If you have a gunfight as a private citizen that requires you to shoot 9 people twice, you're not just going to make the local news. You're not just going to make CNN. You're going to get a Wikipedia page just about your gunfight, okay? That's completely ridiculous. An 18-round gunfight involving 10 participants or 6 participants or whatever is so far outside the realm of the average statistic civilian shooting that it's completely ridiculous to say that this 18-round stage is somehow defensive justified. So give me 24-round stages, all right? You don't need to go full hog USPSA 30-plus round stages, but I think 24 makes it interesting, and it forces you to change your strategy in stock service pistol and enhanced service pistol, and also in the other divisions as well, but especially the 2 higher capacity divisions. Now, the second improvement that I would want goes hand in hand with that, and that's give me 15-round magazines in stock service pistol and carry optics. That's it. I don't want 15-round magazines across the board. IDPA already uses different magazine capacities anyway for CCP and custom defensive pistol and all of these other divisions. And I think you can leave enhanced service pistol at 10 rounds because a lot of people in ESP shoot single stack 9mm 1911s, which hold 10 anyway. So that's fine. Leave ESP at 10. But in carry optics and stock service pistol, these are the divisions dominated by people putting dots on CZs and shooting Glock 34s and things like that. Give me 15-round guns. That would be cool. And even with your 24-round stages, having 15 plus 1 in the gun, you still have to do a reload. But you've got to figure out where to do it. You actually have to think about it. And it keeps the game challenging and interesting. And it also lets people shoot their guns with a lot closer to what their gun's natural capacity is. And I think for a sport that claims to be defensive focused, that's a good thing. So, give me longer stages and more bullets in the gun, and I think we are at a great start. Now, that brings me to the number one thing that I want IDPA to do. Number one, all right? And if IDPA did none of these other things, if they didn't give me 15-round magazines and they don't give me longer stages, but they do this one thing, great. You would immediately become the most relevant shooting sport in terms of defensive shooting. Immediately. Guaranteed. Allow appendix carry. Number one. Allow appendix carry. All right. Look, it's 2019, guys. Appendix carry is the way gun culture 2.0 carries their guns, at least a large enough part of it, that to not give them a place to do that in the shooting sport that brands itself as defensive is ridiculous. Look, I've even got the rules written for you for appendix carry if you want to make sure that you have a level playing field. Holster section, appendix carry holsters. Appendix carry holsters are legal. Magazines may be carried anywhere on the body, forward or behind the hip when using an appendix carry holster. Concealment garment must be a closed front concealment garment such as a t-shirt or sweatshirt. Done. Stop. Good. I wrote your appendix carry rule for you, IDPA. Thank you. But seriously, it's 2019. All right, there's no reason that the shooting sport that brands itself as the defensive shooting sport isn't allowing the kind of concealed carry that is most popular with gun culture 2.0. There's a reason why dudes go shoot USPSA from appendix carry in limited and score minor. It's because they don't fucking have a place to do it. Give them that place to do it. Let them come to IDPA and shoot their Glock 34 with a dot with a 15-round magazine and carry optics from appendix. They have to use a closed front concealment garment, but they can carry their mags anywhere on their body. Boom, done, relevant. That's it. That's all you have to do to become the most relevant shooting sport for people who are serious about defensive shooting, is allow AIWB. That's all. I am all for it. If IDPA woke up tomorrow morning and was like, hey, you guys can shoot from AIWB, I'd probably not shoot a lot of USPSA anymore. Not that I shoot a lot of it right now with my schedule, but you know what I mean. I carry AIWB. Yeah, I'm in. I'm 100% in for that. So that's it. That's my 3 things. These are the 3. That's my wish list for IDPA. Longer stages, 15-round magazines, and appendix carry. Now, I have a whole bunch of other crazy ideas, things that I would love to see IDPA do. Like, I'd love to see IDPA create an unlimited division for dudes with Roland specials and stuff like that, where you can, whatever crazy gun you have, but it's kind of the Roland special division, let's be honest, right? If you want to show up with a gun with a dot and a comp and a weapon mounted light and a magwell on it, cool. Welcome to the Roland special division. But that's the only thing that can compete, and it's got to kind of meet that Roland special type. You know, it's got to have a dot milled into the slide and a small comp and concealable and stuff like that. The other thing I'd love to see would be what I like to call hard mode division, where you keep the stages at 18 rounds, you can load 17 plus 1 in your gun, but you don't carry a reload. Ooh, hard mode. I like that idea too. Those are just crazy things, though. Those are like my Caleb's crazy ideas for things that I would like to see that I also know aren't going to happen. In the real world, the world that we live in, IDPA could make appendix carry happen tomorrow. And that is the #1 thing I would love to see. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, run your gun, not your mouth.